Welcome, Pierrick, to the Humble Lion podcast. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay.
Quite nervous, but...
Don't be nervous. This is normal things that everyone does on a daily.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I want to start off this podcast by just talking about what we spoke about before we started, which was, Pierrick, you told me I was too organized. So I was going to go into this podcast being like, all right, topic 1 is this, topic 2 is this, topic 3 is this. But you know what? No, you're right. Like, maybe we don't need to talk about topics. Maybe we could just go with the flow.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like everything I've seen so far is just like, you're so organized in everything that you do. It's just like, you go into the conversation with people, like having all these subjects already ready and just all this stuff just ready to go. And
yeah, that's my...
For me, I go with the flow.
Okay. I think it's more just for the listeners. Like, I want them to be prepared with what we're going to talk about. Mm-hmm. But you're right. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens without topics. So let's go.
Okay.
You kick it off, Pierrick.
So subjects that I wanted to talk about. You told me, like, I know you wanted to kind of have some ideas of where we wanted to go with this.
Yeah.
So I know you wanted to, like, for me personally, I don't have a lot that I can go on with, but I guess I could talk about myself, and there's stuff that I want to know about you too.
Yeah, let's do it.
Like, there's like all this creative process that you do now with like the videos you put out, the podcast, like how that's going. Like, I'm super interested in that. Like, even I know this is like, you kind of want to interview me, but like I kind of want to figure out like things about you.
Flip the script, yeah.
I just want to open it up and find out a little bit about you, and in turn tell you a little bit about me and something that's going on with my life and things that I've had to overcome.
Yeah.
And so
So topic 1, let's
all right. I guess since we're already in it, I guess right now, since I'm very nervous, I guess we could talk about stress, anxiety, things like that.
Let's do that. Let's talk about that, because I feel like, okay, this is so perfect that you bring this up. When you're feeling emotions, especially if it's stress and anxiety, you need to be so in them to let them happen. Mm-hmm. Because then once you're like aware that they're happening, it's kind of like, oh, okay, stress is gone. I'm understanding, I'm feeling, and I'm letting it be. A lot of the times people, when they're stressed out or when they're really anxious, it's like, okay, no, don't feel that. It's bad to feel that. We need to like live the task at hand so we don't feel that way. But then you get even more stressed because you're not being authentic to your normal emotions. Yeah. So
like, even for me, like, one thing that like really stresses me out is when I'm not honest with people. Like,
exactly.
Like, recently I've had a lot of like things where I kind of like can't be too honest, but at the same time, like, not being honest with people is just really like makes me stressed out when I'm in front of them. And like, I just don't feel right.
Yeah.
And that drives me crazy. Like, and like I was talking about before too, before we started the podcast, how like I've went through a lot of like emotional things in my life where like I had to deal with like a lot of things without getting any help per se.
Yeah.
I guess if I can I go into it a little bit?
Of course, go into it.
All right. So basically, like a couple of years back, I'll just grab some tea here. Sorry.
Some tea. Wait, let's cheers to being so raw and authentic this podcast.
Oh, God.
You gotta look in the eyes when you cheers.
Oh, God. Okay.
Cheers.
So basically a couple of years back, I had this moment in my life where I was feeling pretty like down, feeling pretty ill, kind of like not too sure what was going on, always tired, always sick, always just didn't know what was wrong with me.
Yeah. And
so then after a while of being like that, I kind of started feeling a little more anxious, a little not sure what's going on. You never have a real answer. You're like always down. So I would go to the doctors a lot, and then he would tell me, oh, you have nothing. There's nothing wrong. Everything's fine.
Just go back home, go to bed, rest.
Then 2 days go by, and you're like, oh, no, I don't feel right.
Yeah.
And so things pass like that. I kind of just like still don't feel right. And then like one day I just like break down and just like can't stand it anymore. I just couldn't deal with it. I was crying. I didn't know what to feel with myself. Especially
when you're seeking help and everyone's telling you that you're okay, you feel fucking crazy.
Yeah. So like what happened is like I just go to the doctor and they tell me, there's nothing wrong. Go home. Everything's fine. And then I even got like followed by other doctors like trying to help me out, and I still couldn't find an answer. So I had to basically at one point figure out that I had to deal with my own problems myself.
Yeah.
And if no one wanted to help me, well, I had to just figure it out for
How did you do that? How did you figure it out? Like,
so,
how did you get better?
It kind of started with like me just, I don't know, just kind of coming to terms with, you know, myself, my body, like everything that was going on. I cut a lot of things out, you know, like I started by being healthier, so eating better, you know, cutting out smoking, drugs, things like that. Like I would smoke weed a lot, things like that, you know. So, and now I haven't touched any of that stuff ever since, and you know, I feel a lot healthier myself. So in turn, I was kind of telling myself, I was reassuring myself, telling myself, well, if I'm doing all these things correctly, in turn, you know, myself, I'll be healthier. So
life will reward you with health.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I went my way, kind of doing that for a while, and then trying to get my mindset right, because like I really wanted to I had nothing much at that point. It was kind of just like, you know, things would pass, like, you know, have some shit job, you know, doing, can I swear?
Yo, swear all you want. I've been fucking swearing like all these episodes. So
yeah, I just like, I'm not too sure. Sorry, I'm sweating too.
Dude, Jesus. Be so raw. Like if you want to pour sweat all over the microphone, it's okay. I think that the more you think about it and think that it's wrong, you're going to sweat more.
Yeah, but like, it's like the lights and stuff too. It's like, look at these things, they're huge. Well,
do you want me to open a window?
That would be actually amazing.
Pause.
Oh my god, okay.
We opened a window?
Yeah.
We're all good.
Okay, we're good now. Just get a little bit of sweat off.
It's okay. I mean, the lights, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, so anyways, so basically, to get back to what I was saying, so yeah, I kind of just had to deal with all the problems that I was facing internally by myself. So I, like I said, I got, you know, my mind right. I kind of got like healthier in terms of, you know, eating and all that stuff, and, you know, sleeping better hours, not going to bed always late, you know, things like that. Yeah. Just kind of, and trying to find something that I like doing with my life. And I know one of the things that, you know, you said you weren't sure if you wanted to talk about because, like, you don't like it as much, was hiking, like, you know, going out in nature.
But I would love to talk about things that I don't like, because it's interesting to see why other people like them.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that, like, doing that really, like... Hiking, yeah. Just going anywhere in the woods and just being alone. Like, it's weird because, like, what caused, like, all this problem with the stress and anxiety and all this stuff was being in my own head. Yeah. But out there was kind of like this letting go of everything.
Just being in nature.
Yeah, just like being one with like everything that's around me. Just in that moment, just nothing here, just like being alone with all of it. Yeah, you know?
Because you have this sense of like you're so small. Because you're with like these huge trees, you're with like real life growing and not thinking about growing. They're just there, they're just living. Like when I say they, I'm talking about like nature. So then you realize like, okay, when we're in the city and we're doing these things like putting the keys in the ignition and then driving and then watching people cross the road, and all of these things make you think about stupid shit. Yeah. And then you're in nature and the grass is just growing. Yeah. And you're like, shit.
And it doesn't care about you. None of it cares about you.
Exactly.
You're out there and it'll grow even if you're not there. Trees will fall, you know, things will happen, but like it's just raw and just you're alone with your own thoughts, and for me that is so calming. Like it's just great.
I gotta give hiking a try.
Yeah, it really is something amazing.
You know that I think there's a book and also a movie called Into the Wild.
It rings a bell, but
apparently sure. Like they go on this journey into the wild, and like a lot of people, there's this place, I'm not sure where exactly it is, but they go and they hike for days and days and days, and they come back with this like greater purpose and meaning and understanding of their lives. Every single human who's done like the hike has come back changed. Yeah. So that's super interesting.
Yeah, that's something I want to do too this year, like really just open up like my horizons with like the hiking stuff, because I kind of like I've done like little bits here and there, but like this summer I really want to just expand my horizon and just go like a lot of places.
See where life takes you.
Yeah, exactly. Because like I've done like I've done Gaspésie, I've done some, like, a lot of places around here, but like I kind of want to go to like the States. I want to go, you know, maybe check out some other places around the world and like that. Well, maybe not this year for around the world, but like I'd love to go to like China, things like that, go see, like, just be out there, you know.
Yeah,
because I don't know, for me it's something that being out in the unknown kind of like liberates me a little bit. I don't know if it
is, because it's also scary.
Yeah.
Like for me, thinking about traveling and going to places that I have no idea, like you could get lost, you have no idea if they speak your language over there, like anywhere.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's so scary, but that is liberating because it shows you that you don't matter.
I mean, in a way too, like that, it kind of, if you can deal with that part of it, the rest is just so much more rewarding in the end. Like, like even the first time I decided to go hiking, like I went behind my house, like I was living at my parents', and there's a lot of woods, like just, I mean, we're in the middle of nowhere, up north,
up north where I used to live, Pine Hill,
so
Lachute,
all that place, and so the first time I went out, I'm like, I brought all this stuff with me that I didn't even need. Like I brought like water, I brought food, I brought like bear mace, because I'm like, you know, if there's a bear. I mean, just stressing out about all these things, and you go out there and you're like,
well, no, but there could be a bear.
It's so rare. Like
really?
the bear will be more scared of you than you are of it. Especially like if you're making noise while you're out there.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I just play music on my phone when I go out there. I don't stress about seeing like a wild animal.
I feel like that would be a smart thing though to stress about, because it is.
I mean, if you were in like the wild of like Vancouver with like just like no civilization, like
when I was
for miles.
When I was living in Pine Hill, before we got our house, there was a picture when we walked in of our backyard, a bear like on the windows, just telling us like there are bears around this property.
Really?
Yeah. But that's in Pine Hill. I don't know where you are.
Close to Lachute.
Okay, yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. For me, like it was just like, it was a lot of things that I felt like I needed to worry about a lot, and then when you got out there, it's kind of just like, I was so liberated by everything that it just...
Yeah, that's true.
I felt like, this is nonsense. Like, why did I bring all this stuff with me? Like, had like these like hiking shoes. I had like, just...
And you didn't need them?
No, I don't.
Because you had like normal shoes?
Yeah, just go bare feet for the hell of it. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I can see that. It's kind of like society, like all this shit that we don't need in life. You know?
No, I'm gonna drop that. I don't trust myself.
But yeah, it's a good reflection of like society and all of the extra things that we just don't need.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so where was I going with my story before?
Hiking and what that's done for you.
Yeah, and just like
how it's eliminated your stress, your anxiety.
Yeah, and like the winter I find is like the hardest part for me, because I don't know what to do. Like I don't have much winter activities. Like I'm not like huge into the cold.
And why don't you do like things like gymnastics or like a indoor sport, karate?
I don't know. Like none of that really attracts me. You know, I don't know. Like for a while I thought about doing yoga though.
Yoga?
Yeah.
Yeah, yoga has insane benefits. Like just especially if you're the type of person that likes being connected to yourself, mind, body, spirit, getting flexible. Yeah, yoga is sick. Yeah. I love yoga.
Even being connected to yourself, that's something actually I find really interesting, because like this year has been for me such a big change.
Really?
Like with everything in my life. Like it's weird to say, but I've always been somebody who's really closed off. Like just I don't talk a lot. I don't, you know, I when I'm in a group of, you know, like a public setting with people, I'm kind of like the person who like stays like away from everyone and kind of just like just nods hi, you know, whatever, kind of just
do your own thing.
Yeah, just shy and just not say anything. But like this year I've kind of just opened myself up to like taking, you know, all of it in, trying to get like, you know, trying to experience
trying to put yourself into situations like, hello, I'm alive.
Yeah. And I guess it kind of has to do with like me like changing like the line of work that I do, because like all my life I've been working in like factory work and really not liking it, you know, like just like ridiculous hours, like working nights and days, and
factory work is oftentimes really alone. Like you put your head down and you just do the job.
Yeah, like do this and
you don't interact.
Just shut up and like basically keep going with, you know, the less you can bother us the better, just do your job. And so like now, like ever since last year July, I started working for a company called TELUS. I don't know if like any like, well, I
Pretty
guess
much all Canadian fan base will know what TELUS is, yeah.
But yeah, it's like a telecommunications company, and so I sell cell phones and I work in public like all day. So, you know, like for me, starting off doing that was like super stressful. And like people probably wonder like why choose to do that when like you're already so stressed out, like, you know, why put yourself in like
a super stressful environment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But for me, like doing it and like realizing now that I can do it and how like easy it was to overcome, for me that was so liberating, felt so good, like so rewarding. Because
what were the barriers in your mind? Like what did you think was going to be so hard about that job?
So much, because like I'm so in my head. So like basically people would come up and I would say like hi, and then I'm thinking, I'm like, what if I look like an idiot? What if I say something I'm not supposed to? You know, like what if like for stupid reason, what if I get my prices wrong, let's say? You know, like just these like little things that like you shouldn't worry about.
Yeah,
like,
look, if you get your prices wrong, you go to the cash and then you correct them.
Sorry, I messed up.
I made a mistake.
It's not like the end of the world.
I'm human.
Yeah, exactly. So like just a bunch of things. Like I felt like so stressed out about all these little things, and in the end, like when you decide to overcome them and like kind of push through, for me it was just nothing could have been more liberating than doing that. And like
because now you've just like pushed your limits.
Yeah.
Now you're opening up the circle. You had like a little sort of limit circle around you,
and it was very
very small.
Yeah.
And now you're like pushing the envelope, seeing how far you can push yourself.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
But in a way that's still very scary, because like now that I'm trying to like push the envelope, I'm trying to figure out like what my limits can really be without like, because I don't want to like upset people or like say things I'm not supposed to.
Yeah.
So like I kind of just like, I'm always trying to like push the boundaries a little bit, but with a little bit of restraint.
Especially if you work for somebody else, you can't really push the limits in their company, you know?
Yeah.
But if you're like talking about your actions outside of the workforce,
that's
like
what I
in
meant,
your personal life,
you
can see what you're comfortable with.
Yeah. So like even like public settings now, like I've went to like some events like lately, and for work though, but like in public settings where there's a bunch of new people that I'm not familiar with, and like I'm kind of just putting myself out there, where before it would have been like, you know, like just get a corner, just stay there, you know,
stay comfortable, don't bother anyone, don't ruffle feathers. Yeah,
exactly. And so like just doing that, like, and overcoming your fear and the anxiety, in the end just kind of liberates you, because you know that it's something so small that you like, why do you put so much, like, for me
you're
it's
creating
like,
this huge problem in your head that doesn't even exist.
Exactly. And like even that, like that kind of stems to like how it started too, like me stressing out about like thinking something was wrong with me, and then like kind of overcoming that idea and figuring out that like there was nothing really to worry about, in the end kind of made me better, I guess. And so like now I'm doing great. Like I feel good. I go out and like I don't stress about like talking to like, you know, any random person. So like to me
I think that's so beautiful too, because you're starting off with like a problem that a lot of people have, and it's a little problem, like actually opening up to another human. I think it's because a lot of people think they don't like humans, because I was like that. I was like, you know, I don't think I like other people very much. And I think it has to do with not liking yourself and not liking things about you, because you feel closed off to other people, and you worry that they're not going to like you because you don't like you.
Yeah.
So you have to like you first, and then when you go meet other people, they'll like you because you like you. It's that simple, you know?
Yeah, it's quite particular. Like, I don't know. It's for you though, it must feel very weird if you actually think that way, to have like people come here all the time and kind of like have these open conversations.
Yeah. Well, I used to think that I really disliked people. Like honestly, like last year I was like, wow, I'm an introvert. I like making my own videos. I don't really like going out to parties. I don't really like talking to other people. And it only occurred to me like after making a lot of videos, like, okay, first of all, yes, I'm inside and I'm alone making these videos, but what the fuck am I doing it for? Other people.
Yeah.
Why? Because I care about other people. So it was like this huge shift in my head, and I'm like, okay, now I can bring in other people and actually talk to them and share them and their stories with more people. Like, I love people.
Yeah.
So that was a huge moment for me to just realize that, wow, I actually like people. And then you start opening up, and then you realize, like, you're good.
Yeah.
There's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, it's kind of like particular because like for me, like just doing that, at first, like I would have stressed out so much doing what you're trying to do. Like, you know,
why?
Opening up. I don't know. It would have been so like, to me, it would have been just, I can't even like fathom how I would have done that before. It just.
Could you do it now in the state that you're in now? Like open up to people?
I think so. I mean, it's not like, it's something I have thought of. Like we've spoken about like me trying to do a podcast like, you know, a couple months back when we spoke, and I'm still very open to it, but like the motivation's not there yet. But I'm trying to.
We can get to that.
Yeah, we can get to that. But yeah, like the more I think about it, the more I kind of like, I think I'd be ready to like try to open up to people and kind of get like, I just like knowing what people are thinking.
Yeah.
I guess like is like the weird thing. Like the more I talk to people, the more I open up. Like now I'm kind of like starting to like it even more.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely something.
It's like a drug. It's like I feel like doing this I've been like consuming your energy and I'm like stealing your energy from you. But someone quickly shift my perspective and they're like, no, you're giving it back too. It's like what's the word I'm looking for?
It's like therapeutic. It's kind
for
of like...
both of us. Yeah. Synonymous.
It's just like you say things... Sometimes you just opening up and saying things that you feel or saying just anything that's on your mind kind of just liberates you in a way. Yeah. Because like...
Like, hey, right now I'm feeling stressed and anxious. Yeah. Just that is so liberating.
Yeah.
But which I'm not. But if you were feeling
like,
that way...
Like the sweat in the back of my neck when we started this podcast.
Exactly.
And now that I'm freezing my feet, but it's
Are you actually?
No, it's
Should
fine.
I close the window?
No, actually, it's a lot better that my feet are freezing than my neck's sweating.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, it's...
Let's get into your motivation.
Yeah.
Like, so you say you would want to start a podcast, but you're not feeling motivated. Why do you think that is?
I don't know, really. It's just like I find myself like being pulled in by like other things in my life that like there's so much I want to do, and then in the end you never really know where you want to like go with something. I don't know
that makes so much sense to me. It's literally what my 2018 was. I was being pulled in so many different directions, and because I didn't know exactly what I wanted, I said yes to everything. I'd say no to a lot of things. I would stay stagnant. I would literally do nothing. Mm-hmm. But a shift in focus and like knowing exactly what you want for like a limited amount of time will give you a little bit of clarity, and then just ride that clarity. For instance, this podcast now, like for the next 3 months or however long, I'm just shifting the focus to connecting with people and like taking little nuggets of information from their mind. So right now I feel super clear and focused, but I'm not like stressed out about, oh, where is this going to bring me down the line in 5 years? I'm just like, focus on the next 3 months. See what you can do in 3 months. Boom, done. Ride it. Mm-hmm. You know? So that's helped me. I don't know if that could help you. Like, choose one thing. Yeah. Like, okay, you want to start this podcast? Fuck everything else. Yeah. Fuck everything else and just do it. Just spend 1 hour a day just doing that for the next month. If it's not working out, do something else. Do music. Do whatever.
But I feel like doing that, though, you kind of lose in other aspects of your own life, though.
You think? But if you're choosing to not do anything, you're losing in all aspects because you're actually not getting anything fucking done. So that comes from like this insecurity of like, oh, but, and then I have it too. I'm like, oh, I'm not producing music. Oh, I'm not acting very much. Oh, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. But I'm doing something. Yeah. I'm doing something, and that's this podcast. Yeah. Whereas before I was doing nothing, and I would just be like, yeah, but it's because I don't know what to do, and I would run in circles like, oh, but I don't know what to do today, so I'm going to do nothing. And that was like 1 full year of like doing nothing. Mm-hmm. So I feel like you just have to choose one thing.
And then just run
with it. Because what is your thing right now?
Work.
Yeah,
and I love my job.
Which, yeah, amazing. A lot of people work. But it's what do you do in those hours that you don't work that will move your life forward in the direction that you really want it to go in. If you're like in the perfect place and like you love your job so much and you know that in 20 years like you want to work there, fuck, you can just chill on those hours. But if you're not fulfilled, it's more for the people who are like searching for something more fulfilling. What do you do with those hours that you have off? Yeah. You know?
Like, because for me too, like I feel like it used to be like get out of work and then, you know, then focus on other things. But now, like, with doing what I actually love doing,
which is amazing.
Like, I get so fulfilled just going to work. Like, I wake up in the morning so motivated to go. I do my job, and then, like, even when I finish working, I'm still there, like, talking to my colleagues and, like, you know, just, like, I don't like if I didn't have to leave, I probably wouldn't.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's how motivated I am. So like.
So then where does this like?
For other things, it's like I don't know. I have trouble like figuring out if I should put that much focus onto something else because I feel like I might lose somewhere else. That's.
Do you feel unfulfilled in other aspects of your life?
Good question.
Because right now you're saying like you love your job so much, and then if you didn't have to leave work, then you wouldn't. So where does this need come from to like find that something else?
That's a good question. Like,
it's interesting.
Yeah. No, I catch me off guard with that one. I don't really know.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's think about it. Like, you want to start a podcast. Why?
Yeah. Just opening up and putting my thoughts on like out there. And
to document them.
Yeah.
That's huge. Like,
and sorry.
No, I'm just so excited in 10 years to like look at little 25-year-old me and be like, oh, she was so cute.
I mean, even doing this for me, like
you're going to look back in 5 years.
Yeah, I'll look at this and go like, wow, like, okay, like that's what I was thinking then. Like,
yeah.
I might be completely different in 5-10 years, you know, who knows? And for me, it kind of stemmed from that, but also like there's a lot of people that like I see in like my day-to-day life and like a lot of people that I find interesting or have interesting thoughts sometimes, and you're like, you know, like I'd love to talk to you and get other people to listen and see like
can you change the world with that person?
Yeah, or like I find you that interesting, I can't imagine what other people would think. Like,
exactly.
You know, so
yeah, and then you realize maybe you find this person so interesting, you put them out there, and then it turns out that everyone's like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, what is he saying? And you're like, oh man. And then it puts your perspectives in the right place because you're like, wow, maybe I don't think that this person is that interesting, or I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something. Like, I mean, even for you, like you must have found like so far with what you've done, you've kind of probably seen like, I mean, comment section, things like that, people like find interest in certain conversations you've had, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, like there are definitely different sort of aspects of what people say. Like, oh, I just interviewed this girl for sound healing. And like a couple of people were like, what the hell is sound healing? Okay. So it's cool that we're spreading ideas and like, yeah, dropping little knowledge bombs here and there.
Especially when it's something you don't really know much about.
I had no idea what sound healing was.
I have no idea what it is.
Sound healing is just like using sound to like heal your insides and like heal you. Yeah, it's really
with
interesting.
Music or
with like sounds, so like they like gongs and like natural sounds. Look it up.
Yeah, it does sound interesting.
It's interesting.
Just off topic like that. Probably close the window.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so just to get back on the topic of like you wanting to start a podcast, it's interesting that like you are super happy in life, but then you're searching for something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, like for me putting myself in a situation where like putting myself now in a situation where I feel uncomfortable kind of makes me feel better. And like before I would have ran in fear. Like I would have coming to this podcast, I would have never done this.
You think? I feel like you would have a year ago. You wouldn't have done this?
Definitely not would have done this.
Wow.
At all.
Thank you so much for being here and like opening your heart up. I feel like we love these challenges because we can test ourselves and we can understand more of who we are, so we can operate the vehicle that is us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kind of it's like I said before, like putting your thoughts out there and just reflecting like on everything that you do. So just, I don't know, for me it's liberating doing that. And like even now, like in the past couple months, what I've even started doing is I've opened up to like a lot of people, like a lot of close people in my life. I've basically like I'm almost telling them everything about my life. So it's kind of like just every little thing and it's so liberating. But in a way, like I do it with kind of some restraint because I don't want to go too far and like say things that might upset or like confuse people.
Like what? Like, what would you say that would confuse someone?
I don't know. Just sometimes we have some thoughts that we think that are just so extreme that like you just don't want to kind of like say those things in fear of, you know, maybe them... The
repercussions?
Yeah. Maybe
like what? Tell me something now that would like...
I don't know. Just like, I guess...
Go, say it.
Well, we were talking about Justin Trudeau before, and like
Yeah.
how I wasn't sure if I should tell you that like I'm not a supporter of Justin Trudeau.
What I love about this, though, this is such an interesting thing. Okay, so podcast listeners, before we started, Pierrick was talking about Justin Trudeau, who he doesn't really agree with as the person in power right now, but how he looked like an idiot doing like this dance.
His little like...
He was doing a dance. Where was he?
I believe it was Bangladesh, if I'm not...
Okay, and he was just like dancing.
Yeah, just...
Dancing weird, moving his hands around, whatever. And you didn't agree with that because you thought that it was just stupid and it reflected all of Canada.
It looked so... I don't know if the word is disrespectful, but it just looked like he was just trying so hard to be something he's not. Just trying to like include himself into like a situation where he really shouldn't be like... I don't know. It just...
and I think it's so cool that you shared that thought with me, because in my head, seeing that video and watching it, I was like, oh, he's just immersing himself in the culture. He's just showing support and like being a part of like this beautiful celebration in Bangladesh. And so had you not shared that opinion, it wouldn't have opened my mind as to maybe that was disrespectful. So like you're sharing your controversial thoughts is actually helping society, because we understand each other more in depth and we can kind of like relate and connect to each other. Had you closed yourself off and not said that, and then I brought it up being like, oh, did you see Justin Trudeau dancing? He looked so cool. And then you would have shut your mouth. There's like this huge disconnect happening. And this is why like we can't connect, because we can't talk about the difficult things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like for me, like that would have been a thing like I would have never spoke about before. Like now I open myself up to like a little bit more, and like just that, like saying that, I was like not sure already where I was going to go with the way you would have thought about it. So.
Yeah. Well, right there, like I think it's so important that whatever you're talking about, you leave yourself so open to ideas, because you can't be offended by them. So like, for instance, I found out that you're a Trump supporter. Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't go to say like supporter. I mean, I do like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not as extreme as like some people, because some people are pretty crazy and they do love Trump. And like, I'm not going to say I love Trump, but I don't think he's as bad as people make him out to be, because people kind of just like overreact with all this stuff that's going on in the States. Even though for us in Canada, like it does affect us a little bit, but not a lot. Like,
see, that's a statement that I really disagree with.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. That's like saying, okay, because a theoretical border blocks us off from another country, what's going on in that country doesn't affect us. Poverty across the world, that doesn't affect us. That's what I feel like you're saying. It's true. So like, oh my God, there's this huge leader like who is like, in my opinion, just, there's no words to describe this man. Like just...
But he says what he thinks though.
Does that make it okay? Especially if he is representing a nation.
I think so.
Okay, so you think that Trump can say what he thinks, but Justin Trudeau can't dance the way he wants? It's really interesting.
But again, I think it stems from me believing that it's not my leader.
It's not your leader.
Yeah, he's not the one that stands for like what we should believe in. Like, let's say for Justin Trudeau, like Canada, like Justin Trudeau kind of represents me in the end. And like maybe if I had like some, buffoon, I guess, like talking and saying like these weird things that like just speaking his mind, maybe in the end like I'd kind of be like a little bit more reluctant about like voting for that kind of person. But for Trudeau, it's just like I see that and I'd be like you're representing me, like don't go out and look like an idiot and like dance like a...
And for me, it's like it's expression.
Or
like
even
he's
like
expressing himself in such a... that doesn't hurt anyone, that doesn't offend anyone.
Or when he said that joke about like the woman said like mankind, and then he said it's people kind. You ever hear about that one?
No, I didn't hear about that.
I'll show you later.
That's a stretch, I think. That's a little bit of a stretch. But at the same time, he's still trying to advocate for all lives. Whereas Trump is doing the complete opposite.
Yeah, but it's like so extreme though. Like
what do you mean?
On each end. I mean, it is extreme on each end, but like you gotta agree that like...
But which end is better? That's what I'm saying.
None of them. Both ends are crap, in my opinion.
Yeah, I kind of understand. However, I'm so grateful that we don't have Trump as our leader. But at the same time, I'm so upset for people who do, because I really empathize with Americans. Like, are you like, oh, it's their problem?
No, but in a way, like, he hasn't done, I mean, okay, he's spoken his mind, he said a lot of weird stuff, he's
offended a lot of people. He wants to build a wall.
But in a way, the people that put him there, the people that voted for him, he hasn't kind of strayed away about what he said he was going to do. That's what he said he was going to do, and he's done it. And he's trying to do it.
But does that make it okay? Like,
it makes it okay if that's what the people wanted.
Okay.
They voted for it.
Let me talk about Hitler.
Okay.
Let me talk about, like, him wiping out an entire ethnicity, an entire group of people of one skin color, one culture. The people wanted that. The majority of the people wanted that. And they did it. And they respected his leader. Does that make him okay? Because the people wanted it.
No.
Well, I mean, you're saying no, like, obviously, but I'm looking at you and I'm like, obviously this is not okay.
Yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from. But no, I mean, that's too extreme. Like, that's just...
You think? Because he's trying to export people. Maybe not fucking kill them, but he's trying to put them back in dangerous situations, dangerous countries, where in the end these people will be killed because of their skin color.
They won't be killed over there because of their skin color, though.
No, they're being killed over there because of their shit country, but they're being put there because of their skin color.
But then, like, does it really fall onto the Americans to deal with, like, Mexico being so bad for those people?
Why are they being kicked out of their home country? They live in America. They're Americans.
Yeah, but well, no, they're not. The people coming over the border aren't Americans. They're Mexicans.
What about the people who have all of their credentials, who've been living here for 20 plus years?
Yeah, but I mean, if they haven't done it legally in the first place, then you don't think, like, they spend already so much money trying to, like, defend, like, their borders and doing all this stuff, and if a wall is going to help them kind of, like, restructure the way they do things, then in my opinion...
Let me put it this way. Because recognize that, like, we have so much privilege here. Mm-hmm. We were born from a womb, okay? We grew up with food, a fucking land that we don't get shot at every 2 seconds, family, parents, and we were raised with, like, norms and everything is amazing here. Mm-hmm. People grow up without food, people grow up stealing, people grow up in, like, these chaotic environments, and that's all they know. The only hope for them to even survive their own life is to go to a place, the only place in the world that exists, that freedom exists. Mm-hmm. They're, like, striving to live like us. The normal, happy, controlled, and safe life. If you grew up in a place where you knew that life could be better, you knew that you didn't have to fight for your life every single day, wouldn't you fucking fight to get there?
Yeah, I would. But there's ways to do it. There's ways to, like, go by, you know, going from where you are to, like, seeking asylum in different countries. There's ways to do it.
How?
It's just, well, I've never...
No, I know, but yeah. I mean, like, other than, like, what if all these countries say no? It's, like, your life, or, like, you're gonna die, or you find your fucking freedom and your security. You would choose the security.
I just feel like the death is such an extreme, like, I don't think all these people are, like, looking at, like, a barrel in front of their face and thinking, like, well, if I don't run to the States, like, I'm done, like, this is over. Like, I don't think it's that extreme as much as
I think it is. I think it is. And I think that we're sheltered here, and we choose the media we listen to. We choose what we surround ourselves with. We don't want to watch the news, fucking people dying left and right. Even the news is not showing half the shit that goes on across the world. Like, we don't know. Mm-hmm. And if these people are coming here It's because it's the best place in the fucking world.
But you don't...
What do borders have to do to, like, oh, we're better, like, we're...
But you don't think, like, if they like, if they would secure their borders and kind of stop spending so much money on just defending it, in the end, like, they could use that money to help the countries or help do whatever they need to do to either have more people seeking asylum in their country or help out the neighboring countries that, like, are in peril.
That I agree with, but not with a leader who discriminates based on skin color and culture. Because no matter how much power he has, he will not do good with it.
But in a way, it's kind of like a game of, like, if he can use that as, like, his, I don't know, like, what the word is, but, like, if he could use leverage? As the leverage he needs to get people motivated to actually build that wall or just secure their borders. For me, okay, let's just put it out there. I'm not really for a physical wall, but in the end, like, if that would help, like, I don't really know I haven't done research on this, but, like, if that is the thing that's going to help them secure the border to, like, stop the people trying to immigrate to the United States, then, like, I think that's a good idea if it's feasible. I mean, I don't know if it is, but in the end, if that is the thing that's going to help them,
Help them what? That's what I want to know. Help them what?
Help them stop spending so much money on all this, all securing their borders and trying to just, like, help.
Building a wall is not going to, like, they're not going to be spending a whole bunch of fucking money?
Once
as opposed to, like, what?
As opposed to spending billions of dollars trying to, like,
billions and billions
every year. For sure they spend billions of dollars every year, like, securing that border. I wouldn't.
Okay, wait, I just tried to do a Donald Trump impression. Do you want to do your Donald Trump
We're gonna build a huge wall. We're gonna spend billions of dollars. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be great. We're gonna make the Chinese pay for it.
Oh my god. See, like, you mimic him like you know there's something wrong with him.
There is.
So why are you supporting him?
I support, like, his, not his ideology, I support, like, his, I just think that a lot of, politics and a lot of, like, these people that go into power sometimes, I'll promise something and then, well, in the end, like, oh, we couldn't do it, like, whatever.
I understand that, but the things that he's promising is not okay.
Like, the thing is that, like,
if he sticks true to his word, okay, but his word is dangerous and not okay for the progression of our for our world.
But it's not like he's going out there and he's, like, screaming genocide, It's like,
he might as well be.
That's a little extreme.
Do you think?
Yeah, I do think that's a little extreme.
Do you think that Donald Trump is not racist?
That I'm not sure about. And I don't condone that at all, but, like, I don't think he is racist. Just
jaw dropped.
Why?
Do you think he's sexist?
Maybe. Probably.
Jaw
but
dropped
again, I don't agree with that. Like, I don't think that that's, like, necessarily a thing that, like, I don't know. You can. It's kind of a weird subject, but, like, I don't know.
What?
No, it's just this whole thing.
I know, but I'm happy. I'm happy that, like, we disagree on topics, and we can still talk about them, kind of. Your
comment section is gonna tear me apart.
No. I think the comment section is gonna tear me apart. I think a lot of YouTubers are Trump supporters because I made a video called "Conservatives."
They're trying to put us down.
Okay, listen. I made a video called Conservatives versus Liberals.
Okay.
And all of the comments are supporting the conservative, which is, I'm sure you're conservative.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But that's like, it's kind of like
I'm a hard liberal.
Yeah, I've kind of grown up in, like, that whole lifestyle, my family.
I grew up with only conservatives, and I fucking grew up liberal apart from them because I could recognize their closed-mindedness. And I'm not saying you're closed-minded, but I'm saying I was surrounded by the dinner table calling people on the television bad words if they were a darker skin color. I was surrounded by people...
That's extreme.
But it's not. It's conservative. Like...
But you can't just paint every conservative with like a brush and just be like, oh, he's racist, oh, he's he loves his guns. He's like against abortion. You know, like all this, like it's like just a broad paint of a brush and just saying like,
I would
he's all
say
these
though
things.
that like 80% of conservatives all have the same views. There might be 20% who aren't. I'm gonna be stepping on a lot of toes by saying this, but from the people that I've spoken to, they have this filter of the world that is just so completely different than a liberal's, which is not to say that I'm a liberal, it's not to say that I'm right, but it's to say that we have such a disconnect in the way that we view the world. Like, the things that you're saying, I'm like, oh my God, how are you seeing the world like this? And I'm sure the things that I'm saying, you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So it's really interesting how two different ideologies can exist.
But the thing is, like,
and this is why war happens.
I do understand where you come from, though, because, like, at a younger age, I would have said I was a lot more liberal than conservative. Because, like, I don't know, I saw the world in a different way. And, like, now it just, like, for me, I don't know, I agree, like, a lot more with, like, the conservative side of things.
What do you then think about, like, poor people?
Well, see, Canada's like a weird example because like we're kind of more socialist than anything else.
Okay.
So like we kind of help out like the people who can't work and can't, you know, or can't
work. Yeah.
So for me, I kind of hate the fact that we help those people out. Like if there was I don't know, some difference. Like I wouldn't say like, you know, just let these people rot and die in the streets. Like that's not what I'm saying. Like,
That's a little extreme.
Yeah, but it's kind of like for me, like the free healthcare, the like, you know, like people like that are on welfare, like who have like dental service and things like that, like things that are offered and like that's coming out of my pocket to pay for someone that's like either doesn't want to
or taking
like,
advantage of the system.
Yeah, and a lot of people are.
A lot of people do, especially up where we live in Lachute, well, where I used to live. Yeah. A lot of people over there are like on BS. They're like using welfare. They're pretending that they have an injury that was like 15 years old. I
know the arm still
on my
hurts.
shoulder. I need like $800 a month to just like lift my milk out of the fridge. It's fucking bullshit. That I agree with 100%. Yeah. What about like the people who live on the streets and like they've tried everything. They've like tried to get jobs and like they just can't.
I don't know. Some people. It's a weird situation for most people because like it's so different too. It just there's so much extremes that like there are those people that are out there that I'm almost guaranteed like being out there and do it because like they just that's what they know and that's what they like. I'm sure there's some people out there that like are living on the streets and they don't mind.
Yeah, of course. I heard of an article of this guy living under the bridge and he had been homeless for years and years and years and he died. And they found his body with a backpack beside it. The backpack was filled with like $500,000 or something ridiculous like that. So yeah, it's just to say that like you can be well off and just want to live homeless. Mm-hmm. Nomads.
Pardon?
Nomads.
Yeah, no, exactly, for sure. And like there probably are those people too that are out there that like can't like, you know, just might have mental issues, like can't deal with like specific things, and then they end up on the streets because they can't pay for a house or, you know, shelter or things like that. But
the majority of them are taking advantage of the system.
Yeah,
I agree in that regard, actually.
Maybe not the people that are like out on the streets and like have like those issues, but like
even like buskers,
like where we live, like or where I live, like I can point out like the people like that would be perfectly fine to work and like they're on welfare just because like, oh, that's the thing to do and I'll just collect my check and, you know, like to me supporting that as like a society, like we're just like shooting ourselves in the foot and like in the end like all these social just all this stuff supporting all these people in the end, like to me it's like we're spending all this money for what? Like
what do you think of abortion?
I'm kind of like I don't really have my mind made up about it. Like I am on both sides. Like I am pro-life and I am pro-choice. So like I don't know. Like it's such a gray area. I don't know if I'm more on the side of pro-life because like I believe that a life is like, you know, if the girl is pregnant, she should have the baby.
At what point does a life become a life?
that is a touchy subject that I don't really know. I've never really... You're trying to trap me.
I'm not. I just love this because this is fucking what we're doing here, man.
Yeah.
We're talking about topics that nobody really understands.
Mm-hmm.
We're just trying to make up our minds about them and like see who agrees, who disagrees. And the beauty about this is that after we're gonna shut off this microphone and the computer, we're gonna still be friends because we can recognize that we just have different opinions.
I don't know.
I know, like ciao, Pierrick. Whoa.
This guy is a little crazy.
I wasn't thinking that.
No, but I don't know. How long? I'd say until I don't really know, a couple weeks, maybe a month or so. I don't know.
I think like there's scientific research about like when the fetus actually develops a face and like
how much time does it really take for I don't know, like just the fetus to start forming? Like how?
I think like after a month, I think it's like a blob.
Okay.
I think after 2 months, maybe there's like a finger or two. I really don't know. I'm speaking out of my ass right now.
Okay.
Maybe after 3 months, I think it's fully formed. And I think after 3 months, abortions are not allowed.
Okay, yeah. Because I would say 3 months, no, don't do that. But definitely the first weeks, if you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, you're throwing up, and you're like, oh, take the test, and you're like, oh, I'm pregnant.
Yeah. So then what?
I think
you could get one.
I think so. Yeah.
That's interesting.
But if you wait a month or two and
afterwards,
that's no.
Developing.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never really thought of it that much, especially openly, just like this. So it's kind of
what about being raped and having that kid inside you?
That's also a touchy subject.
Yeah, I like that shit over here.
What do you think about it?
Get the fuck out of me. I don't want to fucking have a reminder of my rape for the rest of eternity while this thing is alive.
But it's not just a thing.
It would be my child spawned from the worst moment of my life when I was raped. Literally imagine someone raping you and then looking at your kid's eyes and seeing the rapist every single time you go to kiss it goodbye.
Yeah. I mean, I don't condone any of that stuff.
No, I know. But, I love how you're backing it up.
Yeah,
I'm not a horrible person, but.
Yeah. I mean, I have to. These days, you never know, some people what they might think, but no, I definitely don't condone rape at all. That's a terrible thing.
I know you don't, but
But I feel again, I think it applies the same way that if you wait too long, at some point, a life is a life.
Interesting.
I mean, I don't know where that, because I don't know how, I don't know what the
what the cutoff of being a human is.
The timeline is of a baby being born. So
that's really interesting.
At the point where it's got fingers and a head and I don't know.
What do you think of gun control?
I think we're allowed our guns.
You see, you're a conservative.
Yeah.
So far, you're checking off all the points of conservatism.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I think we have a right to have our guns and protect ourselves, and even in Canada, I think we're a little too lenient. Or
really?
Wait, that's not the word I'm looking for. We're
Well, we basically don't have any protection.
Yeah, exactly. You're not allowed to use a gun if somebody comes into your home. And I think if somebody walks in, I'd be allowed to, grab my pistol or whatever. And
do you have a gun at home?
I don't have no, I don't have guns, no.
That wasn't a straight answer.
No. Well, it's because I don't have guns. Cuz I live in an apartment now. And I do have a gun, but it's my it's kind of my dad that has it, so he stores it and everything. And,
a real gun or a BB gun?
No.
A shotgun?
A real gun there.
What is a real gun?
A 30-06 Winchester rifle. I think that's what it is.
A rifle?
Yeah.
Someone came to break into your home. Would you use a rifle on them?
No, because I'd have to run to my parents' room, get into the safe, open it up, load it, and take off the locks.
That's another point. So if someone actually breaks into your house, look at all the shit that you would have to get into to even get your gun. Or if it's just hanging up on the wall, your fucking kid could do it and kill itself.
Yeah, but you can do some things to protect against your child,
It's happened.
It has happened.
Numerous
Yeah,
times.
but people are idiots too. Like, for me anyways, I just feel like if I could have like a...
people are idiots.
Like a
That's
pistol
why we
in
protect
my-
ourselves without guns.
Yeah. But, again, it's just...
People are idiots. Like,
Yeah.
we are. Sometimes we do stupid shit without even thinking. Like, oh, I forgot to put my gun back. Oh, look, my kid's dead. Shit. Shouldn't have been stupid that day, because it happens sometimes.
That also falls into the parents' fault, too, that, like, sometimes... I don't know.
Go. I want to leave the floor open. Let's talk.
Because some parents don't do very good at, like, parenting their children. So...
What's good parenting? This is a perfect podcast.
Oh, God.
I love it because, like, we can talk openly. We have such different views that I'm feeding off this shit. You know why? Because I'm not getting offended by your views. I'm getting, like, inspired by how different we see the world, but how we're still able to be friends. It's really interesting to me. It's like, I don't get it.
I mean, for me, I like I said before, like, I am completely open to what, like, everything you think.
That's what's important.
Yeah.
Like, because you're open and you're not like, wow, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, I don't like when you say, like, things like about abortion. Like, I'm not saying, like, oh, she wants to kill a baby. I'll
Fuck her, yeah.
Fuck you, Fiona.
I'm gonna go get my rifle. Okay. That was a little jab. Okay, but so yeah, what were you gonna say about parenting?
Some parents, like, some people shouldn't be having children, I guess, but then again, you know, it's, again, should you be having an abortion, things like that? So, I mean, you could also give your child away. There's those options, but I don't know. Some people shouldn't be having children, and, like, I think you already have an idea in your head of, like, those kinds of people that I'm talking about. You know, the people that you look at and you're like, yeah,
You shouldn't have had a kid.
no, not at all.
A couple in mind.
Yeah, and we all do. Like, and I don't think I really need to explain those kinds of people because we already kind of know, like, what I'm talking about. And just, like, those people, like, those are the people that they'd have their gun up on the wall.
Yeah.
Probably, like, just high enough for the kid to grab it with, like, loaded. And, I mean, there are ways to, like, protect, like, the child when he, like, grabs a gun and tries to do something with it. Like, you know, you can put a lock on it.
If you're not there.
Yeah, but what are you doing leaving your child alone at home?
I know. What do you think about gay rights and gay marriage?
Oh, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, totally.
How come?
I don't know. I just think it's okay to have, like, you can do...
Like, you just ticked off the X.
Oh, yeah,
off the
no.
conservatives, so,
Yeah,
like,
so for that, I mean, I mean, I don't know. These days, conservatives are kind of... I think they're more open.
yeah, I think you'd be surprised because most conservatives think that they compare gay marriage to, like, oh, would you have sex with your brother? Would you marry a dog? Like, they compare gay marriage to that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just so...
So what do you think about transgender then?
Transgenders. I don't know. I kind of want to... I don't really want to put my thoughts out there on that. It's such a topic that, like, it's such a hot button topic right now that, like, I feel like if I say what I think, I might, like, upset people, but I guess I'll just say it anyways. Like, for me, I feel like it's just it's not that it's not right, but it's like, it's okay that people, you know, that they have these thoughts, like, they don't feel comfortable in their own skin, and and, you know, like a person that's, you know, born a man feels like a woman, and he wants to, like, that's fine with me. It's just like I feel like there should be just more to it than just them, like, going out and doing the sex change or things like that. Because, like,
more to it in what way?
And more to it in, like, just at least seeking, like, psychological help, like, from a doctor to figure out, like, if that's really what you want or what you actually need in life.
I think that they do that.
Absolutely. Like, is that, like, a prerequisite for...
But then again, like, I'm thinking about what you're saying, and I'm like, okay, if you wanted to have your boobs augmented, if you wanted to have butt implants, if you wanted to, like, change your nose, or, like, put lip fillers in, or put eye injections in, would it be a prerequisite to go see a doctor to have work done on you. Do you see? This is how I look at it. Like, if you don't feel comfortable in your own skin and you want to get a breast implants,
I would almost tell you, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't be just like this. Like, oh yeah, I want to get a I don't know, a new nose. Oh, I want to get my ears aren't right. Oh, I'm gonna change.
Let me pin them back. A lot of people do that.
Like, there is some thought to it that I tell myself. Somewhere I feel like you need to talk to someone or try to figure out like why that's like what you're looking for. Like, why is that necessarily the thing you want in life, you know? Like, so, and there are these stories too with like the transgender stuff, going back to that. It's like, it's these stories that you hear about like children that feel like this. Like they grow up, oh mommy, I'm a girl, you know, and then like it's a little boy. And the parents are, well, okay, well then, you know, like everything's fine, like we'll let you be.
I don't know if you can change your sex under
No, but
18,
I mean like, you know, agreeing with the child and being like, okay, well if that's what you want, like that's what you know. Like,
but then would you think that the parents should force the child wear dresses if the child is like, no, I want to wear pants and a t-shirt. I want to play with fucking trucks. I don't want to play with Barbies. No, and they're like, no, you're a girl. You have to wear pink.
I don't think they should force anything. I think they should let them do what they want, but in a way, they can't just let it be without kind of like
dissecting it.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that a parent would be like, you know, how come you're feeling this way?
Yeah, but I don't think a parent too is like the best person to try to figure out and diagnose like their child like that.
But is it really a diagnosis? Like, you don't have something wrong with you.
Yeah, it is a diagnosis. It's like trying to. It's like trying to figure out like, just trying to paint a picture basically.
Yes, but then again, you're not like dying. You're not like, you don't have a disease. No. That's like if you grew up gay and you really liked guys. That's like saying, oh, I want to get my parents to bring me to get mental help.
Well, because in my opinion, I think everybody should have therapy. Everybody should like go see like a psychiatrist. Okay. Or, like. Just like someone to talk to.
Yeah.
Like in my opinion, like it helps everybody, and that's like the way it should be.
Okay.
But because there are those people like I was before that were just so closed off and had like so much of these thoughts in their head, and like back then I would have loved to talk to someone probably to like open myself up. You know, it would have been hard, but like in the end, probably would have helped out. And like I feel like just pinpointing. Yeah,
No, it's okay. I want to make sure it didn't shut off.
Okay. But yeah, just trying to figure out like what it is you not maybe want, but what it is you like, what it is you actually feel. When you say it, it's different than just saying like, you know,
just to have that some person to talk to.
Yeah,
I do agree that is
so
important.
So in the end, it's kind of like a diagnosis. It's kind of like figuring out what the person's about. So to me, like if like there's a child that feels that way, he should be followed by someone to figure out if that's actually, if it's not just like, you know, something the kid saw on TV and now he's like, he feels like, oh, well.
But then what if he does continue to feel that way and then he saw a doctor and everything? Then it's okay.
Then it's okay.
Okay, interesting.
It's because like I don't think that like people should just be either changing these things about their bodies or like feeling these certain ways when like it's just by laws of nature, like, you know, when a dog's born a male, it doesn't think it's a female, you know?
Yeah, but a dog also can't change the world with its thoughts.
No.
Because it doesn't have that brain.
And I don't think someone themselves should be changing the world with their own thoughts by themselves alone. You know, they should be expressing those thoughts and like having maybe not an outside opinion, but like having like someone just to kind of like put their ideas into perspective. I don't know if you get what I mean.
I get what you mean. I also do think that most of the work, bringing it back to the beginning of the podcast, let's say you go see 1,000 professionals and nobody really understands what's going on inside of you, like what you were dealing with, stress and anxiety. Maybe people are dealing with shit that other people just don't understand. And no mental health professional, no doctor who's trying to diagnose you, nobody can understand except for you. And if you feel like you're a man inside, but you have a girl's body, and if you feel this way and nobody else understands because society is not as advanced enough to meet who you are, then I do feel like you should fucking go get done what you feel is okay.
Yeah, but that is an extreme though. Like that no one can help you. You can't figure anything out. Like,
I mean,
yeah,
let's
that's
say
what
that
want.
you've tried, you've gone to like 300 mental health professionals, and everyone is shunning you down because they have their own ideas of what life should be like. And oh, don't fix yourself. No. Like, I spoke on another podcast about like getting boobs done, and I was like, oh, you should fix what's in your mind before you change your boobs. But then again, what if what's in your mind is I want to change my boobs? Then you know what? That's okay. You don't need to fix anything in your mind. It's really okay to change your boobs, because you will feel better.
But don't you think that's a result of bad therapists, though?
No, I think it's a result of like
them giving you your like their own opinion and trying to impose their own ideas into your head.
But in the end, everyone has a filter, and it's a form of manipulating. Yeah. And like if a therapist is is super conservative and like against changing your body, their therapy will most likely be, reflective in that. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's wrap it up because we are getting past the time. So I want to ask you 2 last questions. This is my structured self. Okay, if you had a superpower, what would it be?
Oh my God, superpower. That's a good question. Probably the ability to live forever. To live forever? Yeah. You would want to be immortal? Yeah. And watch like thousands and thousands of people die. Well, like all of your friends would die. Yeah. You couldn't have a family because they would outgrow you. Your children, you would watch your children die. You would watch your grandchildren die. Your great-grandchildren die. You would watch so many people die. Such is the way of life, but my own. I don't know. Wow. I don't know. And you don't feel like you would get sick of like watching generations die? Yeah, but it's not just that. It's like experiencing everything forever. It's like everything that is. What about when everything isn't? Do you think that the world will be eternal? That's a conversation for another time, I think. Okay, yeah. Because we'll have Pierrick back on the podcast for sure. Last question then. That's really interesting that you would be immortal. Interesting. The last question would be, what do you think is the meaning of life? Wow. You've asked this to all your guests? I've asked it to... We switched the last 2 questions every 10 episodes. Mm-hmm. So for the last, 4 episodes, I've asked this. So I'm interested to see. Should have done my research. Yeah. Meaning of life. I think living your life how you want, really. Just going out there and doing what makes you happy. That's the meaning of life. Like, just go out there, be happy with what you do, and yeah. That's so simple and so free. Yeah. Live, laugh, love. Yeah. I like that. Amazing. All right, we're going to piece it. All right. Peace. Peace. We'll see you again. Oh, this was so fun. Can I just not piece for a second? I'm so happy with that we were able to talk about such tough topics. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to go chat and have fun. All right. So I'm so excited. Peace. Woo.